Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. This is Maaz, Khawaja, founder of askmaaz.com. Dear viewers, today topic of our discussion and topic of our video is how to perform NEBOSH IG2 risk assessment report. In this video, we will discuss the NEBOSH IG2 report contents and then fill one example over here. But before starting that, I must say, please do not copy whatever I write in this video and do it at your own. It is just for the learning purpose. It is just an example. मैं जो कुछ भी इसमें लिखूंगा करूंगा, आपने एज इट इज़ इसको कॉपी नहीं करना. ये सिर्फ एग्जाम्पल है और लर्निंग पर्पज़ के लिए है. तो क्या ख्याल है, चलें फिर एक रिपोर्ट फिल करें. ओके, अब हम आ गए हैं NEBOSH IG2 रिस्क असेसमेंट के ऊपर. मेरे लैपटॉप पे सामने ओपन है, आप भी सारे देख सकते हैं. स्क्रीन के ऊपर आपको नज़र आ रहा होगा. अच्छा, इसके 4 पार्ट्स हैं. 4 पार्ट्स में इन फर्स्ट पार्ट यू विल हैव टू राइट द बैकग्राउंड ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन दैट इज बीइंग you have where you have carried out the risk assessment, the name of the organization, site location, number of workers, general description of the organization, description of the area to be included, and any other relevant information if it is. So in second part of the part 1, you should aim to complete this section in 100 to 200 words. Please follow these rules, follow these guidelines. If they have mentioned that do not exceed these words, right, try to complete your statements and try to complete your all these things in 100 to 150 to 200 words. Similar goes for this section. And part 2 is the risk assessment, where you have to perform the risk assessment, write the name of the organization, date of the assessment, and scope of the risk assessment. In which part, on which area, or in which section you are conducting the risk assessment of that organization. So this is the table, hazard category and hazards. Who might be harmed, what are you already doing, means your current control measures, and what further actions, further control measures required, time scales, timelines for the implementation of your remedial actions, and person responsible for this job title, who will be authorized to perform that job. So in this section you have to cover minimum 5 different categories of hazards, and a good risk assessment report covers around 15 to 20 risks. Part 3 is prioritize 3 actions sorry for that actions with justification for section selection. So in first section you will highlight moral, general, legal and financial arguments why you have selected these as the high priority risks, and then justification for the action number 1, justification for the action number 2, and justification for the action number 3. Don't worry, we will going to fill all these sections one by one. It will be a long video. And part 4 is review, communicate and check. In first section you have to write planned review date, period with the reasoning. So you have to mention when this risk assessment will be reviewed, and what will be the frequency of the review, and then how the risk assessment findings will be communicated, and who you need to tell, to whom you will share this risk assessment, with management, senior management, local management, board of directors, whatever. And how will you follow up on the risk assessments, and how you have to plan your follow-up plan or your follow-up activity, that how you will make sure that all these action items have been implemented. So now we'll start filling this risk assessment. I have one filled report over here. I cannot show you, but I'll copy from here. So the name of the organization, I write ABC Private Limited, and the site location, the site is located, for example, I am writing 48 kilometers north of Multan city, near I don't know where is it, Bahawalpur road. It's just an example. Okay, number of workers work over here. And I write around 250 employees. Out of that, 50 management staff, 80 is skilled workers, yeah, or daily wages, whatever. So workers, this is the description, number of workers. And general description of the organization, this is let me write. ABC Private Limited is one of the biggest power plants operating in Pakistan. Okay, it is owned by XYZ group, and whatever I have to write, the number of operations and type of operations that are being carried out, will write about that thing. It has 4 turbines, 2 gas turbines, 1 steam turbine, and 1 furnace oil turbine, etc. 1 cooling tower, or whatever description you want to mention over here. It includes its capacity is around 680 megawatts. It operates throughout the year. So it is just an example, don't copy it. So in next section, description of the area to be included in the risk assessment. So which area you want to include in risk assessment, or for which area, which section you want to conduct the risk assessment. So I'll select the operation turbines area. Okay, you can write in this risk assessment covers only turbine area operations, turbines area, or you can also write in this way, this risk assessment covers turbines and workshops of ABC Private Limited. Okay, and what are the activities included in this area? Just write in few lines. Then any other relevant information. So you can describe safety department over here. You can mention that they have specialized safety department. There is a safety head and safety manager reporting to him, and they have firefighting staff or fire vehicles, or whatever you want to write, any other information. Okay, outline of the risk assessments was note this section can be completed after you have completed your risk assessment, so we'll complete it in the end. Now coming to the risk assessment part 2, organization name ABC Private Limited, and date of the assessment today is 10th May. Okay, 10th May 2022. And scope of the risk assessment, operations area and workshops. Okay, hazard, 5 different types of 5 different categories of hazard, and make sure that same hazard and same risks are not same things are not repeated. So number 1, I'll write what shall I write? Okay, safe movement of people and vehicles. So what I have written, what is the basically risk? Heavy vehicles including chemical containers or whatever chemical vehicles देन आ जाता है रूटीन स्टाफ व्हीकल्स मूवमेंट एंड लोडिंग एंड अनलोडिंग ऑफ heavy machineries from vehicles. Who might be harmed? Okay, vehicles may exceed the speed, or you can say who might be harmed and how. Okay, there is no separate parking areas for heavy and staff vehicles. So how they'll be harmed? They can hit the pedestrians. There is no designated pedestrian ways, you can write over there. So definitely how they will harm, collision between मूविंग व्हीकल्स एंड ये भी हो सकता है, एंड देन व्हीकल्स में हिट pedestrians etc. Okay, we have to complete this video. What are you already doing it? So what we have done, speed limit signs are installed. Okay, there is a security let me rephrase it. Security guard is designated to regulate the traffic movement. These are the current control measures, and then no other. What further? Okay, separate parking areas for heavy vehicles and staff cars vehicles. Separate pedestrian ways. Pedestrian ways must be barricaded etc. These are the further control measures and timelines for these. So now we have to evaluate them and make so first priority timelines जो है, I'll say 1, separate parking areas for heavy vehicles. So it will take 1 month because we have to go for some new construction. Then separate pedestrian ways, that it can be done in 1 week, and the barricading will be in 2 weeks. So here I have just mentioned immediate control measures or medium priority control measures, but there are some long-term control measures that you have to make sure as well. Okay, 1 month, it is the job responsibility of maintenance manager, and the others are maintenance engineers. So here you will see that I have prioritized the things in the wrong manner. First week action should be at the top, and then must be written second week, and then 1 month priority. So if in second example we will try to do it in such a way. So there is another example, I am just writing it. Okay, second hazard is hazardous substances. This is the hazard category, and what is the hazard? Storage of hazardous substances chemicals such as HCl, NaOH, sulfuric acid, diesel, etc. on site. Okay, these are the chemicals that are stored at our site. Just writing few examples. Then who might be harmed and how? Okay. Who might be harmed? Chemical department working near these chemicals and taking samples are exposed to these chemical containers. And then you can also write store officer involved in weekly inspection of chemical drums. Okay, how it might be harmed? Chemical spillage, it can result in chemical burns, human injury. Major burns can also result in fatality, etc. Whatever, it's just an example. Okay, what are you already doing it? What we have done so far? Safety signs are installed. This is the buzzword. In every control measure you have to write safety signs and install. So one control measure will be covered over here. What I have done? Safety signs are installed. Bulk storages are separated from chemical store. Okay. Chemical store is provided with spill response kit. Okay, what further control measures required? Immediate actions. What immediate actions shall be taken? Unauthorized persons entry shall be restricted at chemical sections. Okay, then no smoking or naked flame near chemicals. Okay, sort chemicals, sorting of chemicals as per their nature or compatibility. Okay, then provide bunds at chemical storages. Provide trainings to chemical handlers, and then conduct biannual audit of chemical storage areas, whatever, etc. Don't write etc, I am just writing over here. No, timelines. Number one is immediate, it can be done in immediate. Number two is as well immediate, or then sort chemicals, it will take around 1 week depending upon how much chemicals are stored at your site. Sort chemicals as per their nature and compatibility, then provide bunds, it will require some amount of financial assistance, so we write it 1 month. And then provide training to chemical handlers. Yes, you can write over in 3 monthly basis, refresher courses and conduct biannual audits. 6 months, every 6 months. So unauthorized person entry restricted, ये हो जाएगा safety officer and sort chemicals store officer. White bunch to आ जाएगा इधर maintenance manager, then training HSE manager and audit HSE head. Okay, so this is how you write these sections. You will complete these sections. So you have to identify 5 different categories of hazards and risks and then include it right over here. Coming towards this part 3, yeah, skipped other things. Now moral, legal and financial arguments of all actions. Okay, now here I'll write actions must be taken to control all hazards and risks identified in above risk assessment. Oh, what happened to assessment? Spelling. Assessment. Because ABC is law-abiding organization and it has very strong compliance department to ensure all legal requirements are fulfilled. Okay, before jumping to the legal requirements, I must write is law-abiding organization. It is our moral duty to make sure its our workplace is free from hazards and risks and blah 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 blah. Okay, then ABC is law-abiding organization and have very strong legal department to ensure legal requirements are met. Then you can also mention few legal requirements such as ILO, Safety and Health Convention C155. As per ILO C115 Article 16, it states and then we have some other legal requirements in our country as well. We can mention Factories Act 1934 over here, NEPRA Safety Rules 2021, Punjab Factory Rules 1978, blah 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 blah. Okay, then mention some financial aspects. If we don't follow and implement these guidelines and we not ensure that risks are mitigated, then definitely there will be financial losses as well. In the case of any accident or incident, कोई भी खतरा होगा, हादसा होगा, incident होगा, तो definitely पैसे ज़ाया होंगे. Now in next part, justification for the one. Now when you fill the risk assessment, you have to write 15 to 20 hazards and risks identified in your in this risk assessment report. Then prioritize 3 major risks that you think that must be controlled immediately, and then mention over here. So we have written just 2, so I write both the actions. So in first action I'll write separation of parking areas and provision of pedestrian area is very important. And so action, what actions I have to take, I can copy paste from there. Specific legal arguments, then I have to provide legal arguments to make sure that these requirements are really very important. And for that I'll state, okay, ILO recommendations on OSH यानी occupational safety and health are 164 part 14 states, whatever it states I write over here. And then NEPRA power safety codes 2021 section 7.18 regarding traffic movement states. This is just to make sure or to support my point. I have to write these statements. And then consideration and likelihood and severity. Then here I'll mention the likelihood of accidents in these areas are high. And what are those reasons? Definitely there are person moving, coming on their vehicles, and there is blind ends in heavy vehicles, so they can collide anytime. And there is no specific marking of the pedestrian ways, so pedestrians can trespass from the parking area and run from in front of the vehicles. And so the likelihood is high. And then severity, definitely in case of accident, severity will also be very high. ये हमने सिर्फ यहाँ पे इतना नहीं लिखना, we have to provide complete statement to justify why it is high. So write at least 5 to 6 lines over here. Then how effective the action is likely to be controlling the risk. So now I'll justify my actions taken. Separate parking areas will reduce the likelihood of collision between staff cars and heavy vehicles. Both types of vehicles shall be parked in their designated areas. And similarly I'll support my other control measure, that was barricading of pedestrian area will prevent cars and other heavy vehicles from hitting pedestrians etc. So this is how you have to support your statement. And similar goes was the justification for second action, then justification for the third action. So here planned review date period with reasoning. So you have to plan the review of your risk assessment. Okay, as per policy, as per internal policy of ABC organization, RA risk assessment shall be reviewed every 6 months. Separate RA shall be conducted before annual outages or shutdowns. Okay, you can write something else as well. What is this? Shutdowns. and how the risk assessment finding will be communicated, and this information will be shared with this information will be shared with top management. You can write in other ways as well. I will call for internal meeting and share this risk assessment, or share its findings with all staff including operations, maintenance staff, HSE staff, and top management similarly during annual MRMs, management review meetings. These findings will be shared with board of directors as well, including actions taken, etc. So now how will you follow up? Yes, I will develop compliance tracker calendar to ensure all actions are implemented, and then write the detail. Now coming to the section that we have left, that was the section 2 of section part 1. Outline how the risk assessment were carried out. You can write your experience over here. I conducted risk assessment during my site visits. Previous RAs were reviewed, employees were interviewed, I scanned their training records, etc, etc, etc. Whatever has been implemented over there, and previous assessments were discussed, internal audit reports were reviewed. So then I concluded this risk assessment. So this is how you perform the IG2 report. It takes a complete day to write this report. Assess, ASSESMENT. Okay. Once again, before closing this document, I must say it is just an example. Don't copy it. It is just for the learning purpose. ये आपको गाइड तो कर सकता है, बट आपका प्रॉब्लम 100% सॉल्व नहीं करेगा. इन केस ऑफ एनी क्यूरी यू कैन डायरेक्टली कॉन्टैक्ट मी. यू कैन राइट एट माई यूट्यूब वीडियो. अपना फीडबैक दें, गिव योर फीडबैक एंड राइट योर कमेंट्स. डेफिनेटली आई ट्राई माई बेस्ट टू रिस्पॉन्ड. Now thank you for watching this video and tolerating me, and inshallah next video के साथ दोबारा हाजिर होंगे. Will be back very soon. Till next video, bye bye, Allah Hafiz, take care.